Welcome back. So, Rena, I want to talk about what you do as a career person. Tell us.
I can safely say that first and foremost, I look at myself as a musician. I love the music, and initially, I did not look at music as being music for me as being in the neon lights. I just looked at it as singing to make others happy, and gradually the financial aspect of it came along. So right now I'm doing it like for the money, but as well as making others happy and keeping myself happy also.
And of course, the people at Ladera, you keep them happy continuously. I've seen you performing,
yes.
and
I try.
Well,
I try.
I see you doing a good job there.
Yeah, thank you. What I do, the next thing I do is I'm an instructor at the Soufre Care, the Soufre branch of Care. Care is an acronym for the Center for Adolescent Renewal and Education. It is a place where we give children a second chance. These are the children whom society really disregarded. When I said society disregarded, these are the ones who went to the secondary school and they were not really successful in terms of academics, and they're just out there being a nuisance. So we decided to take these children and work with them. We're a private entity, non-governmental, but the children are required to pay a small fee, which will enhance obtaining materials for getting them, for teaching them all the stationery, even feeding them and everything. When I left, after I left the Soufre Secondary School, I went to the Castries Comprehensive School. And from Castries Comprehensive School, I graduated, and there was nothing to do. But there was an old lady who died not so long ago, Miss Christine. Miss Christine was the principal of the Soufre Boys Infant School, and I was friends with her nieces. So after school, I would go to Idoxia and Joan Casaubon's place. Now Joan is the principal of the Soufre Comprehensive School. She's Mrs. Joan Hippolyte. And I would go there and we would talk, and she said to me, I have listened to you and I feel I'll give you a chance. And she gave me a teaching job, not probation, she put me straight in. And this is where I started teaching from the age of 16, directly from the Castries Comprehensive School. I stayed at the Soufre Boys Infant School for 9 years. And on the 9th year, I became pregnant with my second child. Because 1 year after I got married, I had my first son. 6 years later, I had my second child. And the following year, which was in 1985, my second year of teaching, I became pregnant with Mishak, my third child. And this is when the hardship started, but I can safely tell you about that at some other point in time. When I left, circulars were sent by some of the Soufre parents who didn't even have their children at the school. They said that I was misleading their children. Why? Because I was not what they wanted me to be. I was my kind of person. Even while I was teaching, while all the other teachers were there talking, conversing with each other and laughing, there was a steep hill at the back of the school. I'll take this coconut branch, sit about 12 little boys in front of me, and we would slide down the hill and land in a heap. So they found I was like the teacher, the vagabond teacher.
Yes.
And they were not too pleased with these kind of things. But then the little did they know that this kind of got the children to get closer to me. So while all the teachers, the others, had problems settling their class, I had a group. My teaching group was always in the range of between 35 and 42. And very strangely enough, They gave me the children from the parts of Soufrière that no one wanted. Those children who swearing was like a prayer, like their daily bread. I got the children from Barron's Drive, the fishing area. And when they thought I would fail, these children clung to me. I nurtured them not with teaching or any harshness, but with just pure love. To date, I go to Barron's Drive, I don't buy fish. It's like my students call, Miss, they hold that, Miss hold that. Like one, I can remember just recently, a guy said to me, what are you doing in Barron's Drive? And a fella said, no, you are from Barron's Drive, but she has more power down here than you do, you know. And it's like I remember all their names. Tony, Carly, Felix.
Wow.
A whole lot of them.
But right now, where
now
are you at?
I teach at K. After, well, they send the circulars, and the school was run by the Catholic Church. So this kind of got in their little clique of things, and they decided not to reinstate me because of that. And I stayed there, and two of the boys whom I taught, Blaise Fletcher and Edmund Modest, two of my past. When this care, Brother Dominic Brunok opened a branch of care in Soufrière, they were two of the trainees who attended care, but they were also two of my stage 3 students. So when it was decided that the Soufrière branch should be closed because of occupancy, they decided to keep it open on their own. And they said, let's call Miss Selwyna to help us. And this is how I got in. So I was teaching with my students. I was doing subjects like music, drama, English language, maths, and arts and crafts.
Wow.
And from there, when Dr. Mason came in, she made it more a permanent business, where in 2006, where I started teaching permanently. And this is where I'm at up till this moment.
Now you say all that with a huge smile on your face, which is just typically Selwyna, that's how you are. But you did mention two things that I want to touch base on after the break. One, the fact that you said that if something is going well, you keep on going until something happens. I want to talk about that. And then the second thing, when you were talking about your children, you said some of the hardship began there.
Yes.
I would like you to share some of that, because I think people who don't know you will think, well, so far you've been a wonderful communicator, you've been, you know, in different positions and you're still happy, whatever. What possibly could you have faced that is going to be so much hardship, because you look fine to me, healthy, bubbly, so on and so forth. So when we come back, we're going to talk about life as it is for women, for men, for us, and how Selwyna dealt with that. So make sure you remain with us. We'll be back soon. This is the Dolor Factor, and I'm here with Selwyna Charles, and we've been talking about so many different things that really opened my eyes to what it used to be like and what it is now. I'm really interested now, Selwyna, to know about how you make decisions. And when I say you, it's because, as I said earlier, you mentioned about when something is good, you keep going for as long as, but when it's then not good, how do you make that first step to acknowledge it's not going to work out?
I am one who I do not believe in ending something without giving the person the benefit of a doubt. Sometimes it may be something that is repetitious and the person has not acknowledged the fact that it is a fault. I give you as many chances as possible. And then if it's going to tear me apart or take me down, I just close up. I climb up. It's like one thing that if you continue doing the things that you are not supposed to do, one thing that is after another in me. And then I know it is time to go. But during the time it's dying out in me, I hurt. I hurt a lot. And during that period when I'm hurting, I still plead and tell you, please, try this, let's do this, let's do this, let's do that. And if you still continue doing it, then I freeze.
But how do you cope then when matters are taken out of your hands? Because of that, you have some level of control.
Yes.
But what about when it comes to something that is out of your control? So for example, what if we've had recent, we had the trough, we've had all different things happening. What if it's out of your control and you just get fed up with life? Because that happens to a lot of us. We don't control our misfortune, it happens.
I have been very unfortunate in the fact that I do still, to this point, I do not own a house of my own. I continue renting. Although my mom left each of us a piece of land, a parcel of land. There are times when we go like 4 days straight, no food. Not for any reason except, well, we work on the monies are utilized to pay different things. So you know you have to set your priorities first, and afterwards then there's nothing. I do not believe in, somebody said that if you need, you ask. But then I also listen to a lot of reggae music, and I took a lot of counseling in the lyrics where culture said, mind who you run to, brother, to go help, beg for help. Because you ask this person to help you, and depending on who the person is, you ask them so kind-heartedly, they give, and yet it's like a knife in your back. So I've learned to live without. When we have, appreciate, make use of. When we don't have, be thankful just the same and live without. I always believe also that there is a higher being than us all. My strength, my faith, my shelter, my everything comes from God, and that with that in my mind, I can never do something drastic like taking my life. All I do, I thank and praise God, and I know He will provide some way, somehow. And I can truly tell you that this happens very often.
What would you say to someone, and very quickly a response, what would you say to someone who is in a state of despair, don't know where to turn to? They have trusted people who have let them down.
Well, I'm going through that right now, and I can tell you I do a lot of praying. You know, I pray and I ask. Well, at first, when I prayed, I used to pray and ask God to deal with these people for me. But then I found out they themselves do not even know what they're doing. You know, they're doing it for they're doing it for some reason that they feel makes them happy. So what I do, I kind of pity people who do things to break us down. And I would safely tell anyone who is being put aside, somebody who is being hurt, whether it's deliberately or unintentionally, that they should just put their strength, their faith in God. Do a lot of praying. I do that a lot. Sometimes, even for prayers, I see a shiny rainbow after the storm. I see that. I'm able to see that, and I can tell you prayer works.
Well, thank you for being here.
You're very welcome.
But don't think you're just going to be disappearing without giving another message for us to hear that beautiful, wonderful voice you have. So before you leave, it would be really lovely if you could sing us a song.
I can't think of any other song, but I have an original. It has not been released. It's called At the Crossroads, and it goes like this. Standing at the crossroads, feeling like I'm carrying a load. It's weighing down upon me, oh Jah, it's getting heavy. I'm standing at the crossroad. I need to be free of this load. Oh, Father God, please help me, 'cause I really want to be free. I'm begging you, please take my life in the palm of your hand. Keep giving me the strength to love and complete me, brother man. Eradicate my bad thoughts by giving your command. Oh, I know, yes, I know you can make this change.
That's just,
Oh.
that came from the heart and soul.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, I can tell. Selwyna, thank you so much.
You're
for
very
being with
welcome.
us. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
When I see you now, it's a completely different way of looking at you, and I'm sure all your friends and relatives in Suffolk will say the same to you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So much.
Thank you very much.
Well, strength of character is not something we're born with. We acquire it through our determination to survive. Many of us would have recognized ourselves somewhere in Selwyna's story. It's called life, and with only one life to live, we must keep on going. We must keep strong. Why? Because I asked you to. On behalf of my guest, Selwyna Charles, the Dolor Factor and Choice TV teams, I'm Delia Dolor. Goodbye and God bless.